Welcome to And Then There Were Three. I'm Anna.
I'm Kaley.
And I'm Katie.
Well, guys, if you're not watching the video, this is a very new setup for us three. We are actually joining remotely. Katie and Kaley have made the move to Scottsdale, Arizona, and what a trip it was, especially for Kaley and her travels around the holidays. Of course, Southwest had their whole big shenanigans with their cancellations. So, Kaley, I really want to dive into your story first of how the heck did you make it to Scottsdale?
How the heck?
Kaley's journey across the United
Southwest
States.
literally ruined almost the start of my 2023. And if they did, I would have sued them for emotional damage. Anywho. So I went to visit my grandparents in Pennsylvania for Christmas. And we were supposed to be there until the 25th. We were supposed to leave that night. And there was like the weather, whatever, whole thing. And we kept looking and it kept getting delayed. And we're like, oh shit, like, okay, that's fine. Like, we just need to make it home because I was trying to move to Arizona. And my sister also had a flight to catch like the next day. And then we just keep looking, it's keep getting delayed. And then all of a sudden it's canceled. And we're like, that sucks. But okay, we'll just book the next one. The next one wasn't until Wednesday night. So I was already supposed to be in Arizona by then. And we're like, wow, this really fucking sucks. But like, we'll just make do. Like, we're at our grandparents, like, whatever. We're also getting like sick of each other. We're fighting all the time. We're like stuck in like a small bedroom all together. Like, it was too much family time. Like, on that night we were supposed to leave. We were fucking ready to leave. Like, my sister was on everyone's last nerve. Like, we were ready to get the fuck out of there. And so we're like, okay, like, we're just gonna need to like take some adventures, whatever. And so then we keep seeing Southwest keeps canceling. And we're like, holy shit, we're going to have to fucking drive to Nebraska. So we wake up at 5 a.m. to get to the Pittsburgh airport to get our rental car. And it is like 7 in the morning. We're like all in line. And they were saying, I'm getting snacks at this point because my mom's in line, whatever. And all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I see my mom just like frantically running around the airport. And I'm like, and it literally felt like a scene out of the movie. Like, I chuck my snacks. I'm like, what are you doing? In the airport, I'm like, get in line. What are you doing? And she was like, they're out of rental cars. They're out of rental cars. And I was like, okay. And you think you're going to get a rental car anywhere else? I'm like, get the fuck back in the line. Like, did you go up to the front desk lady yet? And she's like, no, I hadn't. And I'm like, she's like, I just overheard them. I was like, no, get your ass back in line. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You're being an idiot. I'm like literally saying this in the airport. Like,
wait, where are the snacks at this point? You hadn't bought them yet?
I threw them because I saw my mom running around the airport. I was like, I don't need this fucking granola bar.
Dude, there's gonna be a video of you on TikTok, like,
I was like, at this
freaking
point,
out.
Yeah, like at this point, I was like, I don't even care if anyone's like videotaping me. Like, I'm being dramatic, but like, I need to get out of here. And so we get back in line, and they were doing like one by one because they had to honor the people for the rental car service like 48 to 72 hours prior, and we had just booked the night before. So they're doing like it so slowly. And finally, after waking up at 5 a.m., 9 a.m., we hit the road. It's snowy, it's slushy out, and the fucking windshield wiper fluid on our rental car isn't working. So I'm driving a rental car, which legally I'm not even supposed to be doing, and I can't see out of my windshield wipers, but we want to get back so quick. Like, we don't want to slow down our way there. Otherwise, like, in order to see out the window, we would have had to stop at every fucking gas station every 5 minutes to like see out our window. So I'm blindly driving down the interstate to Omaha, Nebraska, 16-hour drive.
Whole family in car.
And then you had
family in car. What?
I said, and then you had to drive to Arizona.
And then I get to Nebraska. My car won't fucking start. I have to spend $500 on a new battery and all these diagnostic testings. And then I can go to Arizona. And then it was another 24-hour road trip or however long it was.
That's awful. And you cried at the dealership.
Oh yeah. And then I got to the dealership. I'm crying. My mom and I were fighting because tensions were still high from our family vacay over the holidays. And then of course this like little cutie, he was like a guy my age, is like trying to help, and I was just like not in the mood. And I'm like, of course, why do you have to be cute? I'm literally crying right now.
That's hilarious.
As Kaley was having her meltdown at the airport, I was driving through New Mexico because I made the trip on like at this point like 3 days before Kaley because her trip got delayed so much. So I left on the 26th and she was supposed to leave on the 27th, and you left on the 29th.
Jesus.
Right?
Yeah.
And
I
so
left on the 29th.
And so when I was on my second day of the road trip, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not an early riser at all. And I'm just like having a conversation with Kaley as I'm like in the midst of driving through like
I'm like yelling at Katie on the phone in the airport. I was like, you're the only person that's up, and I'm so frustrated.
Because it's literally 5 a.m.
And like at this point, I had not had alone time in so long because I had to move out of my house in Lincoln back to my mom's house for a few weeks. And then we went and hung out like our whole Christmas break with our family. And then I had a 30-hour road trip with my mom in a small car. Like it was just like so much time where I had no space. And I was like, I need
and you and Sabrina literally fight like no other. I've never seen sisters fight like you guys. You guys will literally be like, I'm gonna kill you, fuck you, and then like 2 minutes later you're like, oh my god, do you want to get Starbucks?
Literally.
Yeah, and I think
that's
I think that's the best way to do it, because like you get your anger out, and like neither of us get offended by each other unless there's like some really, really low blows, which hasn't happened in a very long time. But like you just need to express your anger.
Yeah, you
and
really
like
do.
Neither of us, like I can never obviously probably yell at you two like that, but like Sabrina I can, and so we can just get our anger out on each other. And
that's why sisters are the best, because you can literally say anything in the heat of the moment, but it just doesn't matter.
And like we would never hold it over each other's heads.
Right.
Yeah. My sister and I made the trip together to Arizona, and I didn't have all the complications and everything. So I honestly really liked it. Like it was relaxing, and like I never get that much quality time with my sister, so it was like fun. Everyone thought that we were going to fight the whole time, but honestly we didn't. We just listened to podcasts and talked about our epic holiday. But me and my sister used to fight so much during like family vacations and stuff that we would like fight and scream at each other, and then she'd look at me and be like, okay, can we be friends now? Like that's so just cute. Like how sisters are.
Aw. Shout out sisters.
Shout out sisters.
Well, I want to know about your first impressions of moving to Scottsdale. So we've been there a ton of times, so it's not like there's really any surprises, and you've literally seen your place before you guys moved in. But first impressions of living in Scottsdale, what do you like? What do you don't like?
I hate the Targets here. They're out of everything.
Yeah. Groceries are way more expensive. If anyone wants to Zelle us some money, that'd be great.
That would be amazing. And the people that go grocery shopping here
don't know where they're going.
Either clueless or like it's a me issue. I don't know. Everyone somehow manages to get directly in my way, and I've never felt that way before grocery shopping in Nebraska. But for some reason
there's so many cute guys that like I'm not used to that in Nebraska. So like when you go anywhere, you kind of gotta look presentable, because you're like, oh, like there's actually cute people here.
Yeah. Every time I go to the grocery store, there's always cute boys my age, and I'm pushing a cart around the grocery store, like
looking for all the deals
about the price. Yeah, literally looking for the cheapest food I could find. And I'm like, this is so humbling.
Where's the
all I have in my cart is spaghetti noodles, rice, beans, because that's the only thing I can afford.
Literally in Omaha, Nebraska, you can go to a grocery store like seriously so ugly, and it just won't matter.
Yeah,
you'll just see suburban moms. Like
everything here is expensive. Yeah. And honestly, another first impression. Everyone's doing like dry January, and that's just not Kaley and I's speed, because obviously we just moved here, so we like want to be like hell yeah, but like honestly we might have to do dry January because we have no money. We're doing dry January, not by choice.
Every month
we have to go on a diet, not by choice, but just because we can't afford food.
Yeah, Katie and I went out for like the first time last weekend, and I don't know why I did this. I just like added up all my charges that I spent on that one night. And I was like, holy shit, I can only go out like once a weekend.
I will never forget the culture shock of going to like a club or a bar outside of Omaha or Lincoln, Nebraska. Like I remember when we first went to Tampa,
Florida,
and we're at the estate, and we like all ordered like 3 drinks, or like we had an order of 3 drinks, and it was like $65.
No, I was like, I'll get the first round, and I ordered 3 drinks and 3 shots, and it was $100. And I was like, I do not have enough money for this.
In fucking Nebraska anymore. What the hell?
We're not the brass rail. Everything's $1 under my account.
Literally. It's such a culture shock. It's so humbling being from Nebraska and going elsewhere and being like, oh wow, people really spend their money. I also want to bring up New Year's Eve. How was your guys' New Year's Eve? Because mine was super lame.
Yeah, yours was super lame.
I literally went to like a dive bar. Like nothing. You were not able. It looked like the streets of New York City and downtown Omaha because everyone was trying to get into this one club called the Max. Ridiculous line. Like we couldn't do anything.
I would say the older you get, not saying that like I'm old at all, but I feel like when I was 17, 18, 19, 20, I was like obsessed with having the best New Year's Eve night of my life. But now that I'm like, okay, I don't really like, obviously I want it to be fun, but I'm honestly just like, whatever.
I saw this
so
TikTok.
overhyped.
Yeah, I saw this TikTok and he was like, I'm not saying I'm going to stop drinking, but I'm going to stop doing these things. And the first one was like forcing myself to go out on major holidays because honestly, major holidays are always such a letdown. Like like they're always like
Halloween,
average and just not worth the price or like
4th of
the
July
effort you go into to like try to make it fun. Like
Totally,
New Year's Eve for us was like fine, but it wasn't anything exceptional. Like I feel like the most fun nights are like the most unplanned, just like random crazy nights. Not
it was
like
fun, but I wasn't gonna let myself have these expectations of having a crazy night just because it was like, all right, we moved here like literally 3 days ago. I'm tired.
Also, yeah, like, and it's really weird to go from a giant group of girls going out to literally just Katie and I.
Yeah, that
like
is it was. Yeah, that was bad.
It was us two, and then just pretty much all guys. Like we didn't really know anyone, and we're like, and I was also talking to Lily, who she's one of our friends that just moved to Chicago, and she was like, "It's so weird going out without a big group of girls. Like it's just the weirdest thing, and like you don't know anyone."
That is it's really weird going from knowing everyone in the bar versus kind of only having like a group of like 5 people or whatever. That's definitely, it's just sad that way, you know. Especially like this past year in Lincoln at like Barry's and stuff. It was only like a small group of people that still lived there this past year versus like senior year and stuff. But I don't know. It definitely makes you go out of your comfort zone a little bit and talk to people actually, because in college, I feel like we ran in such a big pack that it was like, why would I talk to anyone else, you know?
Right.
So it's like,
I feel like having a small group of girls especially like leads you to more fun adventures. Like I feel like all the funniest stories are like an unplanned group of 4 or 5 girls that
like a small group, but like not like giant
friends. Yeah, like just going out and having fun. And I think that's what you can do a ton in Scottsdale. Like,
and it's hard because our only like friends here are guy friends, and then it's just like no other guys are gonna approach us when we're with other boys.
Seriously, it was me and Kaley and probably like 10 guys, and I look at Kaley, I'm like, no guy is literally going to come up to us.
Approach me, and I'm like, you need to go away or act gay, or I don't know, go make out with someone in front of like other boys, because no one's gonna approch me, and like people need to know that I'm single and not with
you. Probably have a better chance of meeting someone at the grocery store, Kaley, than you do out with your guy friends at the bar.
I know. I'm like, get away for me.
Anna thinks I'm gonna meet my husband at a coffee shop, so I need to start going to coffee
shops. I've had this like really weird, I don't know why I made this up, but I have this weird inkling that Katie's gonna meet her future husband at a coffee shop, and I think it's just gonna be so romantic.
In Arizona?
Yeah, in Arizona. Actually, I was thinking it's gonna be a rainy day too, by the way.
Me?
Yeah. Kaley, you got humped on New Year's Eve. Can you tell us about it?
Yes. Yeah. So I was in a lime green matching set on New Year's Eve, which I feel like for the most part people wear like all black. So I was definitely like standing out in the crowd.
I was wondering why you were wearing that.
I didn't want to wear black because I didn't want to blend in. I don't know. I like the color green on me. I'm just Anyway, so this is Katie and I, like, I don't pregame super hard for the bars because it never ends well. So I've maybe had 2 seltzers. Like I had not had a drink there yet. And we immediately went to the bathroom. So I'm like not drunk at all. And this man just comes up, like whispers in my ear and is like, "You're a 10 out of 10, love." And I'm like, and then I'm like, thanks. And he continues to stand there and just like stare at me and compliment me again. Or I don't even know. So Katie and I go to the bathroom. We come out. He like tracks me down in the middle of the crowd, literally starts like basically humping me and was like, "I thought I'd never see you again." And I was like, get away from me.
Dude, and Kaley didn't take this opportunity to say nar because all Kaley does is talk in this Australian accent, but I don't know where it came from.
Love.
Nar love. You're not it.
wasn't cute or
You're
anything.
not my soulmate.
No, I like you could be literally beautiful, and if you hump me randomly at a club, like
You could
it's a
be
no
my
for
beautiful
me.
stepbrother.
What if Michael B. Jordan, your stepbrother, humped you at a club? Would you kiss him?
No, like I think that's so gross and so weird.
I like how she answers that seriously. Actually, no.
If you're trying to pick up a girl, don't fucking hump them at the club, okay?
Don't hump me at the club, please.
Please don't
Stop
hump.
humping me at the club.
Now we're like facing the consequences of like
Facing
we've visited here so many times.
Now we actually realize that they have consequences.
And we've been feral so many times and met all of these people and left these first impressions on them. And now it's like, shit, we live here and we
I'm like,
could see
I
them.
swear I have a normal side. Like I'm not always.
Because we made all these characters in Scottsdale that we're afraid we're going to run into them.
And like we will.
Like Katie and Kaley will run into these characters on like a daily basis. Like they're gonna be at the grocery store and see the Zell man, like or the man with.
What if we see Freckles Man?
Or Freckles Man? Oh my god! Like he could be
Like I actually was thinking that, and I was like, what if we go back to this karaoke bar and we see the Freckles Man?
I think he would attack us. Let me just explain something really quick. If you're watching the video, Kaley's holding a plush bulldog, and we haven't addressed it the entire podcast.
Oh my god.
She's just been like petting it. But this is like Kaley has ADHD, if you're not aware. If you watch the videos, it's
Kaley has a severe
pretty obvious
play case.
So she has to like touch or hold something. And before the podcast started, when we were setting all this equipment up, she kept moving her mic because she kept like fumbling with her microphone and always has to be touching or holding something.
Yeah.
So Katie gave her Katie's emotional support animal of her
that you gave me.
I need like a fucking fidget spinner or something.
Literally.
Like,
and
so
the bulldog is because I had an English bulldog and he died, and Anna gave me a stuffed animal of him, and it honestly looks just like him. It's my taxidermy dog. And
so cute.
It's kind of a joke because I always sleep with it, and we have so many funny pictures of me like passed out and like hugging Mac because I literally sleep with it every single night. And so Kaley needed something to fidget with. So I was like, okay, Mac will keep you safe.
You know who's been really silent this whole podcast?
Pat.
Our producer, Pat. Pat, reveal yourself.
He left the room.
Unveil.
I'm just taking it all in.
So are you laughing? Are we being funny? Like,
yeah.
I don't even
I can't tell. But then you can never fucking trust Pat because literally anything we say is like, it's perfect.
Have you laughed yet?
And now if you're watching the video, you can see Pat's beautiful face and his bald head.
You guys have never seen Pat.
Yeah, I've never been on.
Nobody. I want to ask people, like, we should do a survey of, like, what do you think Pat looks like?
Yes.
Like, never seen him. They just hear his voice, and then we reveal Pat.
The best is when I was on the radio, and if I would meet somebody that had listened to me, never met me forever, probably 9 times out of 10, this is what they would say. They'd say, oh my gosh, you don't look like what I expected. I'm like, and they go, like that. And that was it. Yeah, it was never like, oh, hey. It's like, oh, you don't what I expected.
Like in a good way.
I want to know what people would like imagine us three if they didn't know what we looked like, just based on how we talk and stuff.
You would definitely think I'm the hottest for sure.
Probably exactly how we look, honestly.
All right. Well, I also want to bring Pat on because he's been gatekeeping a lot of stories of his life. Because if you're not aware of how cool Pat used to be, I paused.
Used to be.
No, Pat is still cool.
No, I'm just kidding. Pat is still really cool, but like Pat and JT used to be the fucking shit in Omaha, Nebraska, and they just have crazy stories about when they were on the radio. The first one, we were talking about the giveaways you guys would do. Pat, you guys gave away like a house.
Yeah, we gave away a house and we gave away I think it was a Mustang, like back in the day.
That's how to get some followers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's do that.
Like $150,000 house, and we gave away, like, we qualified 98 people, and then they each got a key, and then everybody showed up that day that we gave it away, and then whoever's key opened the house got the house.
Like, what was the reaction of whoever opened the house?
Like, surprisingly very underwhelmed. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, they were just like, yay, and they hugged, and then they just walked in.
Honestly, winning a giveaway or winning anything is like the most awkward thing ever because you just like don't know what to do or say because like I
being surprised.
We're just like.
And 97 other people are mad at you, like instantly.
Yeah.
They trashed the house though. It's like 2 years later, it was like trash. There's mattresses in the like the
What?
front yard. Yeah, it was bad.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's sad. You gave it to the wrong people.
Totally did. Yeah.
Damn.
That sucks.
Pat, I also want to dive in just to your really weird stories that you were telling me about. And I was like, don't explain them, but just give me like a gist. And basically the phrases that you gave me were, you were held at gunpoint at your house. A lady in the Taco Bell drive-thru saw your balls. And then also Mariah Carey hung up on you in an interview.
And my grandpa bailed me out of jail.
And your grandpa
with my grandma's cigarette money.
So let's start
and my brother got dry humped.
Which one do we start with?
Let's unpack Pat here now.
So we're unpacking Pat.
Enough about us.
Let's start with the gunpoint one because I feel like that has to be unveiled first.
Okay.
We need to stop saying unveiled.
No, I like it.
Pat is Lava Girl.
Lava Girl. Did we ever find out who that was, by the way?
No.
Okay, so my kids are both adopted from Guatemala, and my son was just born in Guatemala, and my ex and I went down to Guatemala City for 10 days to spend time with him, and then we came back. Well, our neighbors knew we were going to be gone, right? So we came back, and we got back like it was like middle of the morning, and I had to go right to work because it was on St. Patrick's Day. So I had to host like this pub crawl deal all day. So I got back, like literally went from the airport to work and got on a bus, and my ex went home and surprisingly threw laundry in, and she put laundry in before she went to bed, went to sleep. And the washing machine in the middle of a cycle, whatever, like tipped, and water just kept pouring in, and therefore flooded our whole first floor. And the water went down into our basement and flooded all of our records. I mean, everything. It was for like 6 or 7 hours.
Oh my God.
Constant. So I'm driving home. It's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm coming home and I'm driving up our street and I see all this water coming down the street. I'm like, well, that's weird. Was somebody's sprinkler? It's March. And then as I get closer to my house, I'm like, oh shit, it's coming out of my driveway. And I see it and it's coming through my front door down the stairs.
Oh my God.
So I go inside and we are frantically trying to get stuff up out of the flooded water or the flooded, whatever, the basement. And we're carrying boxes and putting stuff in our driveway and in our front yard. And I'm carrying this box and I can't see it in front of me. And I hear, don't move, freeze. I'm like, holy shit. And I looked up and there were 6 cops, one of them on their belly in my front yard with their guns pointed at me. They thought our neighbors called the police and thought that our house was being robbed, and they didn't know. And so I dropped the box and I'm like, holy shit. And like, I've never had guns pointed, like fingers on trigger, guns, scared shitless. One guy was around the side of my house. Like he told me he had me scoped from behind in case I made a move.
And it's just Pat.
Like I'm not making a move.
At least you know your neighbors got your back.
Yeah. I thanked Vern the next day.
Thank you for having guns pointed at me.
Thanks, Vern. Shout out Vern. His dog bit me like 3 days later too, which is bullshit. But he did. I hated Pop.
Pat, next topic. Why did Mariah Carey hang up on you in an interview?
It was right before her Christmas song came out, and she was doing
the Christmas song.
And,
Don't want a lot for Christmas.
I don't know. Is that the song?
yeah.
What?
Nope.
Why are you trying? What?
Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Kaley, don't act like you would know who Mariah Carey was if you saw a picture. Because you actually didn't know it was her because I showed her a picture and you didn't know who Mariah Carey was.
Yeah.
The week or two before she did her press interview thing, there was this thing in the tabloids that she had a $50,000 golden toilet. And it ended up being like apparently true, but she was like fed up with hearing about it. And her manager, whoever, before she got on the phone, so like, just whatever you do, don't talk about the golden toilet. So it was like 30 seconds.
So you're gonna talk about
the golden toilet, and I should have waited till the end, but I did it like right at the beginning. And
Well, what did you ask?
I just said, so why would you buy a $50,000 golden toilet?
That was the first thing you asked her?
It was like the second. I think we said, hi, what's up? How's it going? Congrats on the phone. First question. Boom. And then she goes, I'm over this. And she hung up.
Oh my God. That's great radio though.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was super fun.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And then we tried to get her on 2 years later, and she said no because of that.
Oh my God.
Because you asked her.
What a diva.
Badass. Yeah.
How does he give a fuck?
She's the one that bought the $50,000 toilet.
Right. So if you don't want to talk about it, don't fucking buy a $50,000 toilet.
My last story I want to unveil.
I do have one more thing. You asked me about people that I've met and and
Oh, yeah.
that there was, and you asked me about Nelly, and I'm like, oh, I've never in person. He's the one who gave me my nickname, Pat as a boy, on the phone. But then in person, we had him at
Nelly.
And because at the end of our interview, like Jill and I did an interview with him, and then at the end when we're all done, we're like, hey, will you say whatever? You're listening to Pat and JT. This is Nelly, whatever. And so we can play that in between songs and stuff. So he said, hey, you're listening to Pat, JT, and my baby girl Pat on Sweet 98. Yeah. Yeah.
Baby girl Pat.
Yeah. But then we did have him in town at a concert, and he wouldn't go on until somebody went and bought him weed. And the concert was, and this was before, it was like hard to get. Like you had to go like on a corner and ask somebody for weed. Like you couldn't just.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, he was like 90 minutes late going on because nobody. I don't know where to get weed. Like I didn't know.
I had to go search.
And I didn't. I had to get Nelly weed.
I didn't end up doing it. Somebody else on the staff.
Wait, that's hilarious.
You risked your life to go get Nelly weed for him to perform.
Wait, were you actively searching?
I gets arrested for getting Nelly weed.
Wait, were you actively searching for weed?
No, because I had no idea. I had no clue where to.
Pat's Google search history is like
where to get weed in Omaha, Nebraska.
Where do I get weed downtown Omaha? Yeah, I would have no idea where to get weed.
Probably a lot of places.
If 15-year-olds can find it, I'm sure you could have.
I know, I probably could have. I just don't know who to ask. Like, hey, do you guys have weed? Who do I ask? It's so weird.
Okay, last Pat story I want to unveil.
Okay.
Why did your brother get humped by a turkey? Or was it the turkey that humped him, or what humped him?
The turkey humped him. So we
lots of humping on this podcast.
Yeah, seriously. We both, you got humped, Kaley, and my brother got humped a long time ago.
Ana, Katie, have you guys been humped ever?
Yeah, probably.
I'm sure everybody's been humped at one point.
Everyone's got to get humped at one point or another.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to get humbled and humped.
I hate when dogs hump.
Humped in public?
Have you ever been in a situation where you're at someone's house for like the first time and their dog humps you?
Yes. That's always so
awkward. Like that's like one thing that's not talked about is like when a dog or whatever humps. I don't know what other kind of animal humps. I guess turkeys hump.
Turkeys
they all hump. They're all
what a cat hump.
I don't think cats. I don't think cats hump.
Cats have the ability to hump if they want to.
2023.
All right, what's your humping story?
So when I was growing up, my grandparents and my parents, I lived like half a mile from my grandparents, and my dad and my grandpa, they raised turkeys. We had turkeys and peacocks and ostriches and all this kind of stuff growing up. So we had these, every time there was like this groups of whatever turkeys that were hatched, my brother and I would make them our friends. So every time we'd get off the bus, they would all like meet us, like 30 turkeys just be sitting there waiting for us to get off the bus.
That's kind of cute.
It was fun. But then there's always like that one weirdo, that's the weird, this turkey, and we probably didn't help him out any, but every time we would he loved to hump anything, but he loved to hump baseball gloves. So every time we'd want to laugh, we'd just grab a baseball glove and throw it in the garage or throw it in the yard. And this turkey's name was Gob. Pretty creative. Gob would come running and just just hit it, just get after it, the glove. And so one day my brother and I, it was in the winter, and we were hunting rabbits like in the front, so we each had a gun, and there's this rabbit, we were sneaking up on it on our stomachs, both laying on our stomachs, and we're belly crawling with our guns, and we were next to each other. And the closer we got to the rabbit, I realized that my brother wasn't next to me, and I hear this psst, Pat, because he didn't want to scare the rabbit. He wanted me to get it. He's like, psst, Pat. I'm like, what? And he's probably 5 feet behind me. He goes, Gob is fucking me. So I turned around, and the turkey was on top of his back. And when they mate, I'm sure, like turtles, they get on the back and their feathers go down and their feet just go pound them on the back. So I learned their feathers were completely around my brother, and the turkey, his little.
It's like a big turkey.
Oh, it's huge, like a 40-pound turkey.
Oh my god,
big beard. Yeah,
I'd be scared.
My brother was a power bottom at that time because he was getting pounded, and it was just hitting it, and it finally, and I was laughing so hard I didn't help or anything, and my brother didn't want to get up because turkeys have big, huge little talon thingies on their feet.
Yeah, they would get mad.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm not gonna. I mean, it would piss me off. I wouldn't want to stop him in the middle. I was like, let him. So he did. He
you let the turkey finish on your brother.
I mean, how can you not? I'm not gonna break that up. It's too good. Yeah. So, and then
what the fuck?
Yeah. So yeah, it was.
Wow.
I don't know if it was like the puffy vest jacket thing that got him, or just the jeans.
What is his turn-ons?
Yeah, I don't know.
Was he wearing
What was Gob's turn on?
He was a leather belt. Maybe it's the leather.
Gob was fucking
Leather
mean.
fetish.
Leather
Gob
fetish.
is fucking mean.
How do you know? Like, how did you tell the turkeys apart from one another? How did you know it was Gob?
Yeah.
Because he fucked anything you threw on the ground. He had like certain like feather markings, I guess.
Oh,
Gob has no standards.
No.
ew.
Yeah.
All right, moral of this podcast, guys, don't get humped by anything in 2023. Say no, and if it's a turkey,
No, let's normalize humping.
Are we normalizing or saying no to humping?
no humping 2023. Normalize humping, or
You guys vote. We'll let you guys vote.
let us
Well,
know,
you guys
guys.